I purchase clothing in petite sizing and regular sizing. I'm 5'1" for reference, and I'm here to tell my petite girls that you don't always need to shop in a petite specific category. While having petite sizing is 100% wonderful, and we do need that, I want to show you guys how some regular fit items actually work better if you're petite. Now, this is part 2 of my petite versus regular series. If you missed the first one, I will link it below for you guys and up here so you can watch that. But it is truly eye-opening and amazing seeing how different things fit and feel in different sizing. Things I prefer in petite fit, which I'll explain why, and some things I prefer in regular fit, which I'll also explain why. And hopefully this information is helpful for you guys so you can gauge and see what silhouettes will work better for you in what size. Okay, first up is this dress here, which, can I just say, I love this color. It's very mossy and like earthy looking. I love it. The buttons are fully functioning all the way down, has this cute little belt. But here is a side-by-side comparison of the petite and regular. I feel like I don't need to add text on top of it, but I will. But you can clearly tell which one's petite and regular because of the differences. The regular fit is longer by, I believe, like 2 inches. But I have to say, both the petite and regular length, in my opinion, is still petite friendly, but I want to put the emphasis on how much better it looks when it's just a touch shorter. My legs look longer, appear a little bit longer. I'm still covered, like it's not too short or anything, but visually I think the proportions are much more balanced for a mini dress if it's just like a little bit shorter for petite. I mean, if you look at it on the model, it's mid-thigh, and essentially that's what I want in petite. But if I typically purchase a dress in regular, it's going to be just right above my knees, which if it's just taken up a little bit visually, it looks elongating, more slimming, more streamlined, as well as the width of the dress is cut a little bit more narrow on the petite fit. And I would say the waistline on both of them sits at around the same spot. I feel like the only differences between these two dresses is that the petite is about a couple inches shorter and the shoulders are a little bit smaller, like cut more narrow, same as like the bodice. So those are the differences. For me, I prefer the petite sizing in a mini dress because it's just visually, again, like I mentioned, a lot more flattering, elongating, more streamlined. If the dress is just a little bit shorter, even though the regular works, but visually I hope you guys can see the side by side that I think just a little bit shorter looks way more flattering. Now on the complete opposite side is a midi length dress. So again, petite and regular. By the way, this dress is so beautiful, so comfy and stretchy. Like it honestly feels like pajamas. It's like in this jersey fabric, so stretchy, soft. It's off shoulder, so clearly I feel like you guys can tell which one's petite, regular sizing. So the difference again is the length. The regular fit sizing, I believe, is like a couple inches longer, not too much longer, and then the body all the way down with the regular fit, you have probably an inch more room, more fabric going all the way down. The petite one skims closer to my body because it's essentially cut for me, a little bit more narrow, and then it's shorter. Now I have to say, I was looking back at the footages, okay, which one do I like better, petite or regular, petite or regular? Like I cannot decide which one I like more, because I actually think for a midi length dress, this is actually cut quite nicely for petite. But if I were to pick one, I would pick the regular fit, because you guys know when it comes to midi dresses, if it's just a little bit longer, it makes me appear longer, look leaner, visually more balanced and flattering. I have a little bit more of that like surface area coverage there from my shoulders all the way down to the hemline. It's also split on the side, which makes it even more flattering for petite as well. So personally, when it comes to midi length dresses, I prefer regular fit. So it's the opposite with mini dresses. With mini dresses, for me, it has to be in petite size because it's a little too long. I like showing a little bit more leg, having it a couple inches shorter, a lot more visually flattering. But if you're talking about midi length dress, something that's much longer, intended to be longer, it's better going for a little bit of a longer length because it gives, again, the illusion of height since you're covering most of your body through the fabric. Or I show you guys this next piece, I have to give you a warning. My regular viewers, you have never seen this color on me. I feel like it's gonna come as a shock and alarm, but you know what? This year is trying new things for me. New silhouettes, new colors. I'm just having fun with it. Me, I'm not a fan of the color. It's not me, but it's fun to try something different just to try it on and see how I feel. But okay, I gave you your warning. Very bright orange color. It's way more vivid in person, you guys. Like, it's very, very bright in person. I kind of feel like a highlighter stick, I'm not gonna lie. This comes in other colors, by the way. So here is the petite regular fit sizing side by side. So the differences is obviously the length, but also in the bodice. The petite length, the bodice, the torso, the seam on the waistline hits at my rib cage. Whereas the regular fit actually sits at my natural waistline, which I really like. By the way, these straps are not adjustable, so even if I wanted to keep the petite sizing, I couldn't adjust it. So this is why I also like midi length dresses a lot of the time, is because the waistline actually hits at my natural waistline. Because I'm petite with a longer torso, petite fit tops area, usually the waistline hits just around my rib cage, which obviously isn't flattering. It makes me look very shrunken at the top, whereas the regular fit dress, I have more room in the bodice. It sits at my natural waistline. Also, the skirt is longer, so I have it hit right around my ankle bone, which if you look at the side by side, I look a little bit more frumpy and kind of almost squashed with the petite fit. And the regular fit, I really think it looks a lot more balanced. You guys let me know what you think. That's why I always say midi length dresses are the best for petites if you get them in regular length. Now, obviously it depends on your height, your body type. Maybe you have a shorter torso, longer legs. Obviously, it's different for everybody. I'm just one person, but you can use me as a guide for yourself and picking what size you like best. But the rule of thumb for me is midi length dresses have to be around my ankle. That's why I prefer them in regular fit, because they just make them a few inches longer, which is so nice. So anyways, this is just another example of a midi length dress. Now, on to a couple jackets, you guys. Okay, so I'm so excited to be comparing trench coats. First of all, I love Banana Republic Factory, even the Banana Republic, like the more higher end version, but the Factory makes incredible trench coats, you guys. Like, truly, if you're looking to save some money, and honestly, even if your budget is higher, the factory versions are impeccable. I am so impressed with what they make and the quality and everything. Anyways, this one specifically is water resistant. This is called their Timeless Trench Coat. I've actually been recommending this for a long time. I have it in an older version in a petite fit. I freaking love it. I always recommend it. This is their updated version I wanted to try on in petite and regular fit. Now, obviously, seeing it side by side, the differences are the sleeve length. Petite, it's scaled down. You also have the flaps on the chest. They don't sit as low as the regular fit. They're scaled down, a little bit smaller and not as low for a petite. And then the waistline sits at a great spot for my height, as well as the overall width of the fabric. For the petite, it's cut more narrow, which is nice. I don't have as much volume in the body, which it's properly scaled down. This is a great example of an item that's properly scaled down for a petite body. And then as well as the overall length of the jacket as well, it's not too long. So this is an outerwear piece that's intended to hit below your calf, whether you're petite, regular, or tall. So that's why they have it in 3 different sizes. So it's intended to hit below calf. So that's why the petite fit actually works really freaking well for me. This is a perfect example of something that is properly scaled down for petite. Okay, does anybody still wear military jackets? Because I do. I love them. I especially love it for that more like utility style for fall time. I think it just looks really nice. But I tried it in extra small regular, extra small petite again. I love this moss color, by the way. It's very pretty. I have to say, this one, I did not notice too many adjustments for the petite size, which is kind of unfortunate, to be honest. When I looked at the drop shoulder seam, there's probably like, honestly, you guys, like a 1/4 inch difference. I was measuring everything out, the differences, because when I was putting it on my body, I'm like, they literally feel exactly the same. So the drop shoulder, like a 1/4 inch difference between petite and regular. The sleeve length, probably 1/2 inch difference, and then the overall length of the jacket probably also an inch or 1/2 inch difference. So hopefully you guys can see the little differences side by side here. It was really hard for me to tell, to be honest. Then I would say the overall width, there's probably in volume of the fabric and in the sleeve width as well, again, probably like a 1/2 inch difference. There's not much of a difference. Like if I'm comparing the trench coats, you can visually see the differences. This one, they're very, very subtle. Now, am I mad about it? honestly, because it still fits quite nice, even the petite, like on my body type, and I can make the regular work too. Would be nice if the sleeves were a little bit shorter for this one, because they still feel a little like a touch too long for me. Last but not least is this beautiful jumpsuit, you guys. So there's actually quite a bit of differences between the two jumpsuits. So first off, it's the overall width. So that's the one consistent theme I notice between a lot of petite and regular fit. Petite is more narrow, so there isn't as much volume, which is nice. So I feel like you can tell with petite versus regular in this jumpsuit, there's a lot more fabric around the hips for the regular fit, whereas the petite, it's a lot more scaled down. And then it's also fit more narrow in the shoulders for petite. And then it's not as long in the crotch. A lot of times just regular fit jumpsuits are too long in the crotch. And this is a perfect example. It's too long there. It feels really awkward and weird. But the petite, it's not too long. It's properly scaled. And I feel like jumpsuits are quite tricky getting right. So that's why a lot of times regular fit jumpsuits don't really work out well for petites, because they're too long in the crotch, too long in the length. They're all too big and too much volume and fabric throughout the body. So that's why I prefer jumpsuits in petite fit if it's properly scaled. This is a good example of a jumpsuit that is properly scaled for petite. And I would say the length actually works on both. Like, I think the length is great in the regular fit. I think the length is great in the petite fit. I like how the regular fit is just a little bit longer, so it actually makes my legs look longer. But I would still prefer the petite fit, even though it's a little bit shorter. I can still wear it with any shoe that I want. Still looks long, tailored, polished. I also just like how the petite, it's not too much volume or fabric. Like, I like a wide leg fit, a flowy fit, but a lot of times just the regular fit is too much fabric. They just make it a little bit too wide, too flowy, too loose. It just feels a little too much for me. So I like it when things are scaled down like this for petite. That brings it to the end of this video. Those were, I believe, 6 different items that I tried on in petite and regular fit. Hopefully this video was helpful for you guys in just understanding the differences between petite and regular, and hopefully this can help you make better choices and pick a fit that's best for you. And watch the video that I made recently reviewing different petite and regular fit items. I'll link actually that video right here. If you haven't seen it, you will love it. So I'll see you in this video. Bye!